Today's What Burns My Ass episode is brought to you by our unscrupulous car dealerships. And it's rooted, I feel bad for a company that spent a lot of money making a great brand, where people trust the brand, they like the car, and they enter into a lease agreement. And today's topic will be about a lease agreement because I have a colleague, female colleague who had a lease, and it was coming to its end. And when she saw what the buyout number was on the lease, and then she looked at what the dealership was selling the exact same model for, it was 100% more. So it was $16,000 versus $31,000. However, you have a binding contract that says at the end of your lease, you can buy out and own your car for X amount of dollars. So when she called the dealership, and this dealership is in Toronto, it's called Prima Mazda, where she started the lease, she encountered a lot of resistance from the sales staff that told her that she can't turn that lease, she can't buy out the lease. And then when she insisted that she was going to buy out the lease, they said that you have to get your safety done at our service center. Now, any sane individual knows what will happen in that case is it'll go in, they'll find a bunch of things that are wrong, and you'll get a huge safety bill. And the reason why I can say it is, why would you insist that a safety has to be done there? The contract just says you need to have your vehicle safetied within 45 days of buying the car. And so I called back to help out this colleague, and all of a sudden his tone was very hostile. He goes, well, that's our policy. And I said, well, can you send me a copy of your policy? He said, well, it's not written down. I said, well, that's not a fucking policy. And you're trying to rip people off. And that pisses me off, right? And the people at Mazda should be pissed off because I called Mazda headquarters and asked them if this is the policy. And they said no. But what Mazda said is, we'll try another dealership because they all do things differently. And why I think that was a mistake is you have a brand in which people want to trust you. And so if you acknowledge that the policy is not the same and not being applied equally, that's a problem you should fix to protect your brand. But by telling me to call another dealership, which I did, a very honorable dealership in London, Ontario, said, no problem, get it certified anywhere. We'll make this happen, no problem. I want you to think about if your daughter, your wife, or somebody who lacks confidence, male, female, whatever, that's why I'm producing this video today. Don't take their word for granted, push back for your rights, and don't be bullied into going into their environment because they try to insist on the client. They say, we won't sell it to you until you come into our dealership. When you go into their dealership, you're on their territory. They make you sit down, they give you drinks, you feel trapped. They're gonna try to upsell you. You don't have to do what people tell you unless it's in the contract. So give us a shout if you have a question about a lease, and don't be pushed around.